Levi Strauss, Jacob Davis, and the invention of scale. Today, more than 1 billion people own a pair of blue jeans. They are worn by construction workers and movie stars, farmers and fashion designers, teenagers and presidents. They may be the most successful piece of clothing ever created. But here's the surprising part. The man most people credit with inventing blue jeans didn't actually invent the key innovation that made them possible. And the story behind that mistake reveals a pattern that would later define Silicon Valley itself. The problem: to understand blue jeans, we have to travel back to California during the gold rush. The year is 1853. San Francisco is exploding. Ships crowd the harbor. Merchants fill the streets. Fortunes are being made and lost almost overnight. And throughout California, miners are discovering a frustrating problem. Their clothes don't last. Pockets tear. Seams split. Fabric wears out under the constant strain of physical labor. The gold rush created extraordinary demand for durable tools, but it also created demand for something less glamorous: durable clothing. Into this environment arrived a young immigrant from Bavaria. His name was Levi Strauss. Like many newcomers to California, Strauss came seeking opportunity. But unlike the miners heading into the mountains, he chose a different path. Instead of searching for gold, he sold supplies to the people searching for gold. It was a decision that would prove remarkably profitable. Strauss established a dry goods business in San Francisco, supplying fabric, clothing, and equipment throughout the growing West. He wasn't inventing anything revolutionary, at least not yet. Several hundred miles away, another immigrant faced a different challenge. Jacob Davis was a tailor. Every day, he repaired work clothing for laborers, miners, and ranch hands. And every day, he saw the same problem. The strongest fabric in the world didn't matter if the stress points failed first. Pockets ripped, buttons pulled away, seams burst open. The weakness wasn't the material. It was the construction. Then Davis had an idea. A simple one. What if the most vulnerable points of the garment were reinforced with copper rivets? Tiny pieces of metal. Inexpensive, easy to install, almost impossible to tear through. The result was immediate. Customers loved them. The reinforced pants lasted dramatically longer than conventional workwear. A practical solution to a practical problem. Davis quickly realized he had created something valuable, but he faced a problem familiar to innovators throughout history. He could build the product. He couldn't scale it. Patenting an invention required money. Manufacturing required money. Distribution required money. Davis had the idea. He lacked the infrastructure. So he contacted a man who already supplied fabric to his business: Levi Strauss. The partnership that followed may feel surprisingly familiar to modern entrepreneurs. One partner brought technical innovation. The other brought capital, manufacturing capability, distribution networks, and business scale. Together, they applied for a patent. On May 20th, 1873, Jacob Davis and Levi Strauss received U.S. patent number 139,121. The patent covered riveted work pants. A simple invention, a practical invention, and one that would eventually conquer the world. What's fascinating isn't merely that blue jeans became successful. It's why they became successful. History often celebrates inventors, but invention alone rarely changes the world. The world changes when invention meets scale. Millions of people likely encountered practical problems before Jacob Davis. Many skilled tailors could have recognized the weakness in work pants. But recognizing a problem isn't enough. Even solving the problem isn't enough. The solution must reach millions of people. That requires systems, capital, manufacturing, distribution, organization. In other words, it requires a business. The story of blue jeans isn't just about clothing. It's about commercialization. And that story would repeat itself across the Bay Area for generations. A technical breakthrough emerges. A partner provides resources and scale. An industry is transformed. Decades later, the pattern would appear again in semiconductors, personal computers, internet companies, smartphones, artificial intelligence. Different products, same model. Innovation plus commercialization. People often think Silicon Valley's innovation culture began with engineers and startups. But many of its core patterns appeared long before Silicon Valley existed. The blue jean was born from the same ecosystem that produced countless later innovations. a rapidly growing market, a practical problem, an inventive solution, and a partnership capable of scaling that solution globally. The technology was different. The pattern was the same. Because history repeatedly shows that invention alone rarely changes the world. What changes the world is the ability to turn invention into adoption. Which brings us back to the question at the heart of Bay origins. Why did it happen here? Perhaps part of the answer lies in California's unique ability to connect builders with backers, inventors with operators, ideas with scale. The innovator's ledger. Lesson 1. Solving real problems creates real value. Jacob Davis didn't set out to disrupt an industry. He solved a problem his customers experienced every day. The strongest innovations often begin with practical frustrations rather than grand visions. Before building something new, ask, what problem is causing pain right now? Lesson 2. Innovation needs distribution. Many founders obsess over invention. Far fewer think deeply about distribution. Davis had a breakthrough. Strauss had a network. Neither could have built the global business alone. The lesson: a great product without distribution remains a local curiosity. Lesson 3. Scale is its own innovation. We often celebrate creators. We rarely celebrate the people who build manufacturing systems, supply chains, partnerships, and operations. Yet those systems are frequently what transform an invention into a movement. Sometimes the greatest innovation isn't the product. It's the mechanism that delivers the product to the world. Founder's question: if you had the next world-changing idea tomorrow, what would be your biggest obstacle? The invention itself, or scaling it? Closing. The blue jean began as a solution for miners working California's gold rush. More than 150 years later, it remains one of the most recognizable products on Earth. Not because it was invented, but because it was scaled. And once again, a pattern emerged that would define the future of the Bay Area. This is Bay Origins, birthplace of the future.